Hi everyone. So May is the month of mental health awareness, and I know it is taboo and it is cringy for my community to talk about mental health issues, and when someone unalives themselves or unalive other people due to mental health issues, then our community is hit hard, everyone is heartbroken, but there's no real solutions. And I think a part of that is because we don't talk about it. It's like a taboo. It's like, why we're so ashamed of it. That's what it is. It is shame. Why are we so ashamed of talking about it? So back in 2020, I was contacted by a psychiatrist, and she wanted to know if I was interested in further therapy. I had stopped my therapy in 2019 because I was done. I was finished. I didn't need any more. And I agreed. In 2020, when everybody was in this chaotic loop during the pandemic and feeling just woo and overwhelmed with life and everything, I agreed. So she went over my past reports, and so she abruptly asked me if I was bipolar. And I said no. And she said, yeah, I think you are. Let's go over treatments and everything like that. And I said, no, according to the DSM-5, I am not. So I advocated for myself. And it was the first time I had actually stood up for myself and stood in my power and said no to like major authority. No, I am not this. So after advocating for myself, she then gave me a test. And it was a test for ADHD. So I took the test and I scored a 2. And she said, let me tell you how the test works. So the test is a 100 question test, and it is divided into 4 different categories. And the higher you score, the less likely you are to have ADHD or ADD. And the less you score, the more likely you are to have ADHD. So these are some of the questions that they ask. And they are cognitive questions and behavioral questions. So sometimes I can't talk. Anyways, this is how ADHD looks at me. I have something called hyperfixation. And just the way it sounds, that's just what it is. I hyperly fixate on things or people, whatever. So if a song resonates with me, I can listen to that song all day. When I mean all day, I mean from the time I wake up until the time I go to sleep. It's on a continuous loop all day, every day, for days, weeks, months. So throughout the series of videos for mental health awareness, I would like for you to see why my psychiatrist wanted to diagnose me with bipolar disorder. I can do the same thing for food. That's why weight loss and having a constant weight to my liking has been a challenge, because I hyperfixate on food. Even if I know it's not good for me, I will hyperfixate on one thing, and I will eat that one thing over and over and over and over, and that's it. People, I hyperfixate on people. It's the same thing. Now, again, I want you to take a look at the videos that I put out for this mental health awareness so you can see why my doctor thought I had bipolar disorder. So another thing for ADHD is, besides the fact that I don't focus well, I'm easily distracted, hyperactivity in me is I talk a lot. I can talk for 10 hours a day and then get on the phone and talk to my bestie for another 4 hours. So again, I want you to listen to what I'm saying so you can see why a lot of melanated people and people in general, especially melanated females, get misdiagnosed for a lot of things, especially when it comes to mental health issues. I forget the name for it. So memory, I'm just gonna say memory loss. So I can get ready to prepare a food, and for me, even if I have cooked this food over and over and over and over, if there is instructions, I will read it. It doesn't matter if I know how. It doesn't matter if I can write the instructions down for you and hand it to you from my memory. When I get the package, I have to read the instructions. It's just something I have to do. However, when I go to prepare this, like put it in the oven or do whatever, guess what I have to do? Read the instructions again. Like, it didn't stick. I didn't retain the information only a second ago. So I have been diagnosed with ADHD combined. Now, the next video I'm going to make in this series, I need you to, again, listen. You're going to need to listen to at least both of these videos to understand why my psychiatrist, thought I had bipolar disorder. So I hope this helped. My life's mission is to educate, encourage, and empower you. That's why I was created. Okay, stay tuned for the next video. So again, I just really want you to listen to some of the symptoms that I show and see why my then psychiatrist wanted to diagnose me with a bipolar disorder. So after she retrieved the test, she not only looked at the scores, the scores told her that I was ADHD combined. So that was diagnosis number one. Then she looked at why I scored so low, and she said, you're on the spectrum. You're autistic as well. And I can't legally put this diagnosis on paper because I'm not licensed to do that. I will refer you to someone who is licensed. It took me a while to find someone in my area who will give me the test. You know why it took me a while? Because everyone that I was referred to stopped doing it for adults. They are just concentrated on doing it for children and individuals 22 years old and younger. However, this is the scoring for a test for ASD is 100 questions as well. The categories are from 4 to 6 categories. I think I had about 6 categories. And the higher you score, the more likely you are to have ASD. And the lower you score, the less likely you are to have ASD. I scored a 90. So here are some of the questions that I was asked. And these are some of the symptoms that I experienced with autism. Any one of these symptoms can happen at any given time, any time at all. I can be having a conversation in the middle, full speed ahead conversation, and just stop. I can go mute for hours, for days, not because I'm choosing to stop. My mind triggers something and it stops. I don't want to hear music. I don't want to even know that there's another person around. At any given moment, I need to be away from people. And I'm very frank. I'm very abrupt. You ask me a question, I say no. You ask, yes, I know. I don't have social cues sometimes. I don't know when people are ready to end the conversation and start the conversation. Again, I want you to hear why my psychiatrist wants to diagnose me. I thought she should diagnose me with bipolar disorder. I do something they call stim. I stim a lot. I mask a lot. And I'm very, very blunt. I have this moment where when I say what I say and I'm done with the conversation, I'm done with the conversation. There's nothing you can say can make me talk anymore. I'm done. I just want to hang up now. Let's go away. Leave me alone. I know. The thing about it is, you have to really get to know me in order to understand the type of person that I am. Because just having a couple phone conversations with me, you won't know me. Because I'll come off independent, like I don't need nobody, like your feelings doesn't matter, like whatever it is, if I hurt you, I hurt you. I will come off that way. I won't show any emotions. But when you get to know me, you realize that I'm fragile and I'm very emotional. And I do need people, and I do need community, and I do need support. Then you're thinking, wait, did she change on me? No. And that's why my doctor wanted to diagnose me with bipolar. Stay tuned. Hi, so May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I've already done 2 videos in this 3-video series about my misdiagnosis, my diagnosis, and this video here is about some of the things I do to help me deal with some of the symptoms and to have a more meaningful life. So let me see if I can read this to you guys. Research shows that up to 80% of autistics also have ADHD. Despite being so high, this degree of overlap is not widely known. Sorry, I got distracted. This is primarily because before the publication of the 5th edition of the DSM-5 in 2013, there was a rule that individuals couldn't be diagnosed with both autism and ADHD. The decision to exclude co-diagnosis has had a ripple effect. Research before 2013 only studied autism and ADHD in isolation. This means that studies on autistic individuals may be skewed by the fact that many, potentially up to 80% of study participants could have also had ADHD without knowing. How confident can we be in older autism research? So I kind of am glad that I got a diagnosis later, but it would have been helpful to have one earlier on in life. Maybe it would have been a treatable plan. I don't know, and I don't want to go back to find out. I just know that I'm here now with this, and I'm going to play the cards the way they shuffle. Well, I like to manipulate them sometimes. Individuals who receive a formal diagnosis prior to the year 2013, just 2013, may only have one diagnosis, even though they fit the diagnosis criteria for both. Are there a whole bunch of autistics and ADHDers who are missing out on potential supports and understanding because of missed diagnosis? Yes. Yes. Individuals who receive a formal diagnosis prior to the year 2013 may only have one diagnosis, even though they fit the diagnosis criteria for both. Are there a whole bunch of autistics and ADHDers who are missing out on potential supports and understanding because of a missed diagnosis? Many AUDHDers are invalidated because they do not fall into the stereotypical presentations of either autism or ADHD. So besides educating myself, and educating myself, there's some things I have adopted in my life in order to be more functional in life. I meditate a lot. I do yoga, I do breath work. I talk so fast and my brain is going faster than the words are coming out of my mouth. So there's a lot of challenges I have jumped over in my life. So I hope these videos were helpful to you in understanding just a little bit about diagnosis, being misdiagnosed, advocating for yourself, and having the importance of healthy community in your life, and what happens when you don't have healthy community or any community advocating on your behalf, and the things that you must do to take your life back and to have a livable, healthy life. So thank you all for listening to me. And yes, I just told you my diagnosis. So my official diagnosis is ASD and ADHD-C, and my unofficial diagnosis is AUHDAD. That sounds weird. Okay. You guys have a good day, and be well to yourselves. Be kind to yourselves. Forgive yourselves for the mistakes you've made when you did not know any better. Love yourselves and the people who loves you, who really loves you.